What happened to Kristine and Michael Barnett after Good American Family, where they are today? Hulu's Good American Family pulls inspiration from real events and people, including Ellen Pompeo's Kristine Barnett and Mark Duplass's Michael Barnett. The 2025 drama limited series, created by Katie Robbins, revolves around the Barnett's adoption of Natalia Grace, an orphan from Ukraine born with a rare form of dwarfism called dystrophic dysplasia, in 2010. The married couple had 3 biological sons, Jacob, Ethan, and Wesley. Before the adoption, the oldest of whom was diagnosed with autism at a young age. After taking Grace in, Kristine and Michael Barnett began suspecting that she wasn't exactly who she said she was. As shown in the Hulu miniseries, Kristine and Michael Barnett accused Grace of displaying strange behavior and threatening them with violence. Kristine Barnett even claimed that their adopted daughter tried to kill her. Based on all their alleged observations, they concluded that Grace must have been much older. The couple depicted in Good American Family believed Grace was in her 20s, not a 7-year-old child. Per TODA, Kristine and Michael Barnett filed a petition in 2012 to legally change Grace's birth year from 2003 to 1989, which was successful. A year later, they parted ways with her. After legally changing their adopted daughter's birth year, Kristine and Michael Barnett moved to Canada with their 3 sons in 2013. However, they didn't take Natalia Grace with them. Instead, the couple left Grace in an apartment in Lafayette, Indiana. According to court documents, Kristine and Michael Barnett left Grace behind to transition to life as an adult because they believed she was much older than 7 to 8 years old. Kristine and Michael Barnett were able to petition the Marion County Probate Court, per force, to legally change Grace's birth year from 2003 to 1989 because of psychological and physical examinations. One court document refers to age estimates provided by a primary care physician and social worker as the reasoning behind the change. So Kristine and Michael Barnett moved to Canada with their 3 sons, and Grace stayed behind in Lafayette. Another couple, Cynthia and Antoine Mans, met Grace while she was living alone and ultimately filed for legal guardianship of her in 2016. The adoption officially went through in 2023. Not too long after moving to Canada, Michael Barnett filed for divorce from his wife in 2014. However, it took a few years before their separation was finalized. Their divorce became official in 2018. So as of the writing of this article, Kristine and Michael Barnett, who are played by Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass in the Good American Family cast, are together. Sometime after his divorce was finalized, Michael Barnett married another woman, Jennifer Barnett. However, that relationship reportedly didn't last either. Court records accessed by TODA reveal that Michael Barnett filed for divorce from Jennifer Barnett, played by Kim Shaw in Hulu's Good American Family, and it was finalized in 2022. Aside from that, though, any other relationship that Michael Barnett or Jennifer Barnett took part in is unknown, as is their current marital status. When Cynthia and Antoine Mans filed for guardianship of Natalia Grace in 2016, Michael Barnett filed an objection. He claimed that Natalia was an adult, implying she didn't need guardians. This resulted in many years of legal proceedings concerning Grace's case. According to Fox News, Michael Barnett was charged with 3 counts of neglect of a dependent and conspiracy to commit neglect of a dependent. In October 2022, a jury found him not guilty on all counts. Kristine Barnett faced similar neglect charges as her ex-husband, but they were dismissed in March 2023, per WTHR. So neither of them were ever found guilty of neglecting Grace. However, a 2019 affidavit of probable cause reveals that a Peyton Manning Children's Hospital doctor examined Grace in 2010 and concluded that she was 8, seemingly disproving Kristine and Michael Barnett's allegations. 2 years later, a skeletal survey deduced she was 11 years old. Grace also took a DNA test in 2023, which determined she was around 22, further suggesting she was a child when the Barnetts left her. As mentioned above, the marital statuses of Kristine and Michael Barnett are unknown as of the writing of this article. Michael Barnett is reportedly still living in Indianapolis, Indiana, as of 2023. Meanwhile, Kristine Barnett's last known address places her in Indiana. However, those records are from 2019, and she might have moved somewhere else in the 6 years since. Kristine Barnett was living in New Hamburg, Ontario, in 2018, though. In the years since accusing Natalia Grace of lying about her age, Kristine and Michael Barnett have made many statements on the matter. Kristine Barnett has declared that she never abused Grace while living with her. In a now-deleted 2024 Facebook post, Barnett wrote, "As for Michael Barnett, he previously accused his ex-wife of manipulating and mistreating him while they were still together." In ID's 2023 docuseries, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, which Kristine Barnett decided not to take part in, Grace confronts her former adoptive father. He explains to her that he had the same monster you did. Michael Barnett claimed that Kristine Barnett abused him as well, which she has since denied. Despite appearing alongside one another in Good American Family, Michael Barnett and Grace don't live together. She doesn't live with the Manns either. In The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, she alleged that the Manns abused her too. So Grace moved in with Nicole and Vincent DePaul, a couple who tried to adopt her back in 2009 before the Barnetts did, as depicted in Hulu's adaptation of Grace's true story, Good American Family. In 2010, Kristine and Michael Barnett adopted Natalia Grace, a Ukrainian orphan with a rare form of dwarfism known as spondylobiphyseal dysplasia congenita. Initially, they believed she was around 6 years old, based on her Ukrainian birth records, indicating a 2003 birth year. However, the Barnetts soon began to suspect that Natalia was older than her documents suggested. They alleged that she exhibited behaviors inconsistent with a child's age and raised concerns about her mental health and intentions. In 2012, the Barnetts petitioned an Indiana court to legally change Natalia's birth year from 2003 to 1989, effectively re-aging her from 8 to 22 years old. The court granted this request, and Natalia was legally considered an adult. Following this, in 2013, the Barnetts moved to Canada with their biological children, leaving Natalia behind in an apartment in Lafayette, Indiana. They claimed that Natalia was capable of living independently and provided financial support for her living expenses. The situation took a legal turn in 2019 when both Kristine and Michael were charged with neglect of a dependent, based on the argument that Natalia was a minor at the time they left her alone. Michael was tried and found not guilty in 2022, while charges against Kristine were dropped in March 2023. In the aftermath of these events, Kristine and Michael's personal lives underwent significant changes. The couple divorced in 2014. Michael returned to Indiana and remarried, though he divorced again in 2022. Kristine has maintained a relatively low profile, but addressed the situation in a 2024 Facebook post, stating that Natalia was a very much loved and cared for member of my family, and denying the abuse allegations as just plain false. Natalia's journey continued as she moved in with Antoine and Cynthia Manns, who noticed her struggles living alone and invited her into their home. However, this arrangement eventually deteriorated, leading Natalia to leave the man's family. She later found a supportive environment with the DePaul family in upstate New York. As of early 2025, Natalia is focusing on her education, studying for her GED, and learning to drive, aiming for greater independence and stability. The complex and controversial story of Natalia Grace and the Barnetts has been the subject of multiple media adaptations. In 2023, Investigation Discovery released the docuseries The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, which explored the intricacies of the case. Building on this, Hulu premiered the dramatized miniseries Good American Family in March 2025, featuring Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass as Kristine and Michael Barnett, respectively, and Imogen Faith Reed portraying Natalia.